are all about. Are you sure you want to get the book?
KVNU Game Day continues with Aggie Call. Your chance to talk about today's game. Sponsored by Alpine Home Medical, Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, Les Olson Company, Jarek's Fine Jewelry, My Mattress, Elements Restaurant, Cache Valley Bank, Castelite, Daryl's Appliance, Advanced Fireplace and Stove, Cache Valley Ear, Nose and Throat, White Pine Funeral Home, S.E. Needham Jewelers, and LSS Insurance. KVNU Game Day with Al Lewis and John Russell.
And we always mention again West Point Dairy and also our sponsor of Chem Dry of Northern Utah. Again, Utah State never trailed in the first half of the game. And boy, St. Mary's came to play after a horrible shooting first half. And again, the Aggies were great on defense. It was a defensive struggle. And in the end, when the score was not in the 70s, you'd worry about it for Utah State in this game. And again, key calls by the officials that were missed and not called and then were called ended up making the difference in the game. I'm not saying that the officials, won the game for St. Mary's, but they missed an obvious travel call on a huge basket that tied the game at 58-all with about a minute and 50 to go in the game. And then Bean got blocked on a shot late in the game. The big thing is guys go straight up, you don't call it, and the guy leaned on him badly. And there was not a call made on that play, John.
Yeah, very frustrating to see those two calls missed, and then Bean ends up getting called with a foul, which it was.
It looked like it was a foul on a loose ball deal there. But again, officials didn't call the block. Yeah. So if they're not going to call that, let it play out, and I think we should be in overtime.
Yeah, you want consistency is what it comes down to. If you're going to let them play physically, if you're going to let them really go at it and bang around down low, great. That's fine, but it's got to be the same way.
And every call made at the end of the game was Randy McCall, and Randy McCall missed the travel. He was looking in at it, didn't call it. They got the layup out of that play, and he didn't call the block, and then he did call the foul on Bean at the end of the game. And Randy's a great official, has been a great official in college basketball. I've seen him do lots of big games, but he blew it tonight because, again, he lead to let the game go. Yeah. Yeah. But again, they did earn it, St. Mary's, the way they played the second half. They played much better.
That's the thing. The Aggies, really what you have to look for, they did a phenomenal job defensively in the first half. They shut St. Mary's down. St. Mary's 7 for, what was it?
They were 7 for 27 in the first half.
27 in the first half.
They were 17 of 26 in the second half.
0 for 12 from beyond the arc in the first half. But
second half, they hit 7 of 11 from 3.
But the Aggies, they only left the first half with a 4-point lead. And that's the thing. You play great defense, and that's awesome. But this is a good basketball team. St. Mary's knows how to play. You knew they weren't going to come out and shoot another 0 for 12 from beyond the arc. And Aggies just got caught up. Tough loss.
First time they've been out-rebounded since the loss to San Diego State back in 2020 down there. So it's a long stretch of games there, and the Aggies' winning streak is over at 6 in a row, and St. Mary's goes to 8-1. Heck of a basketball game. We knew it was going to be a great game. We talked about it from the start, and St. Mary's wins it 60-58. Fotu didn't do anything in the game until towards the end. He got 8 big points down the stretch. It was Dukas who made the free throws that won the game. He also made 13. He only made 1 3, and he's a 3-point shooter for them, but he was able to go 4 for 12, and he's the guy who drove it inside after they missed the travel call. If they go back and watch the tape, it's obvious on that play that there was a travel call not called with about a minute and 51 to go. That tied the game at 58-all. We only had, in the last 3 minutes and 15 seconds of the game, the Aggies scored 4 points, and they scored 7. That's it down the stretch. But they win. St. Mary's wins 60-58.
Well, this is, I hate to keep going back to it. You're not talking about a basketball team that's in a lesser division, lesser conference that came in and just happened to beat a bunch of cupcakes. This is a good basketball team. I'm already thinking about Saturday, by the way. This is a good basketball team. They've got everything that you want. They've got great shooters. They have big men. They have athletic players. You've got Fotu comes off the bench and does a phenomenal job
in the second half.
In the second half, but like I said, the Aggies. This was a game where coach is going to have to go back and say, guys, this should have been ours.
And get rid of the black uniforms in football, in basketball. Get rid of them. We're not black. We're navy blue. That's dark enough. Let's wear that if you want to wear a home uniform in dark. Okay?
Yeah, and you can do the.
You don't need to play around with that. Yeah.
So it would work.
We appreciate White Pine Funeral Services being one of our sponsors. They had a big night tonight with their Christmas shows they did for the public and raised lots of food, I'm sure, for the food pantry by the people who went there. White Pine Funeral Services, whitepinefuneralservices.com, one of our sponsors. So our phone line's available, 753-5868. If you're there, you want to talk about it, you watched it, what did you think? And the text line is 435-339-0321 is the phone number. We'd love to have you join with us. It's game day tonight. And again, the unfortunate deal with two big games this weekend, starting tonight into Saturday. We were hoping it was going to be an Aggie big weekend, and the basketball game goes the wrong way, 60-58. Utah State, again, it was only a Utah State lead of 20-16 at the half. So the Aggies did in the second half get 38 points. But on the other side, 44 for St. Mary's to win the game. 753 KVNU. John and I will be back. I'd love to talk to you. We'll check Jalen's keys that we had on the pregame. Jalen was busy tonight and couldn't get back with us postgame. We'll talk with him next Wednesday when the Aggies play BYU, but this is going to take a while to savor a little bit, and we'll be right back with more Game Day on KVNU in a moment.
This is Dave Simmons for Les Olson Company. Every great team knows that you have to train to stay on top of your game. Even top players continue to practice the fundamentals. That's why Les Olson Company offers free IT security awareness training so your business can stop threats before they become a problem. Learn what to do in case of a suspected phishing attack. Don't take risks. Take action with the Les Olson Security Suite. Get your free network assessment at lesolson.com.
The holidays bring family, friends, and parties and more. How important is it to you to know that your house is sparkling clean this holiday season? Trust ChemDry of Northern Utah's hot carbonating extraction process to ensure your home is the cleanest, healthiest environment for your family gatherings this season. From carpets to hardwood floors to furniture and even granite countertops for baking. This is Daryl with Northern Utah ChemDry. Call us for some amazing holiday deals.
ChemDry of Northern Utah. ChemDry of Northern Utah. 435-752-6100.
Experts tell us that the three areas of balance for proper health are exercise, nutrition, and sleep. This is Ryan, owner of My Mattress. And while My Mattress store can't really help with exercise and nutrition, we can help with better sleep. If a person started today to live a balanced life in health, exercise, and sleep, three things might happen. One, we might throw away the bag of peanut M&Ms that we have stashed. Two, we might get up off the couch and exercise. And three, we'd come buy a new mattress here at My Mattress.
Cache Valley Bank's newest branch is now open in Preston. I'm Lance Zollinger, and I'm excited to announce Cache Valley Bank is now open inside Stokes Marketplace. If you're an existing customer, you'll love the convenience. If you're not a customer, we'd love to have you open a new account with us, or even talk with us about a loan for your farm or business. Cache Valley Bank, a community bank where decisions are still made locally, now open in Preston. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
Talking about the Aggies. It's KVNU Game Day. Call 753-KVNU or 800-369-KVNU.
And I was, again, as soon as the game was over, I'm working on things here at the board. John saw the end of the game where it looked like, to me, Randy Bennett was walking towards the Aggie bench, and you said there was a little bit of a confrontation at the end of the game. St. Mary's won 60-58 over the Aggies.
Yeah, you could tell that Bennett and Coach Odom were kind of having some choice words with each other. Coach Odom had his hand out as if he wanted to shake his hand. They were definitely getting into it, and Bennett just
wouldn't shake the hand.
Went by him, and the assistant coaches shook his hand. But then also, as he showed Bennett going up the tunnel, he was kind of pumping his fist, probably letting Aggie faithful know that they got the best of him.
Well, the start of the game, I mean, it's really unfortunate you get a big game like this and the clock is all fouled up and really didn't get it off to a good start. And the whole first half was kind of a slow first half in other ways. But, boy, the Aggies were good defensively in the first half. That was, I mean, going in, you're talking about, I mean, the football game, I'm thinking about it Saturday. It's obviously Aggie offense has got to try to do something against a great defense of San Diego State. Going into this game, you knew it was St. Mary's that had the defense, and they had all the defensive numbers, and the Aggies have been the offensive team. And the Aggies won the first half with defense.
Oh, yeah.
In this game.
Without a doubt. And you're exactly right. And we kind of talked about this for a second there. Aggies in the first half held St. Mary's to 7 for 27 from the field, 0 for 12 from beyond the arc, but only had a 4-point lead in the halftime. And that's why I was talking
St. Mary's
to
clamped down with
did.
their defense, too, and it made it hard for us.
And you knew they weren't going to be that cold in the second half. I was talking to some students behind me, and I just said, watch out. It's not going to be the same second half. St. Mary's too good of a basketball team to do that. And you know that Coach Bennett, that's what he said. He said, guys, we stunk it up in the first half, but they're only up by 4. We've got another 20 to take care of business.
And Kuzi cut to the basket off of a pass from Toss to score for their first points of the second half, and then a roll to the rim by Dukas, who's supposed to be their three-point shooter. And then they hit 4 straight threes. Kuzi made 2 of them. Johnson made 1. Those guys are not known, especially Johnson, for threes. And then Dukas is one of those guys who made his only 3 of the game. And he made some big plays in this game. So that was their stretch there where they took a 32-29 lead, their first lead of the game. And then Utah State responds back with a 9-0 run not long after that. And the Aggies go up 44-37 as we go under the 11-minute mark in this game. And again, then I'll tell you, you just couldn't put them away. And then when the game's there, they have a lead 51-48. Bean goes to the foul line with 5 minutes to go, 5:20, and makes 2 free throws to make it 51-50. Both teams have 14 turnovers at that time. That's too many for both teams. So, again, that's hard defense, taking the ball away, making it hard for everything, everybody trying to get something a little extra. And then 2 key possessions with the Aggies stopping them at the other end. Horvath only made 1 of 2 free throws both times to just get it back to where the Aggies only led by 1. Fotu took the lead back, and then it was Bean with that hook shot off the pass from Ashworth, made it 54-53. And then Bean made another hook from 10 feet, driving in the key, and the Aggies are up by 3, and then they come back, and again, Fotu drives and gets fouled and made the free throws after the 2 Randys, Randy McCall and Randy Bennett, during the timeout had gone. They were going after each other, and then in the game, Bennett wouldn't shake Odom's hand, I guess, at the end of the game. And then you go down the stretch. The next possession is the one after Bean missed. They missed the travel call in the key. The guy took a walk, a big walk. And even the guy who scored was close to traveling, but I think for sure the first guy traveled way worse. So they take the lead 58-56, and then Horvath did make the 2 free throws with 53 seconds to go. And then they called timeout, and R.J. Idlerock dug in on a double team, took the ball away as you knew they were going to go to that low post down low, try to spin in there. But then Bean gets blocked, and the key deal there, go back and look at the replay, you can see the guy leaning right over him. The deal in basketball, if you're straight up, and the officials just are doing this straight up stuff the whole game, that's not straight up. So they missed the travel, they missed the straight up, and then they called a foul in the loose ball situation at the end of the game where everybody's trying to get it. And they don't want to blow the whistle on the shot of Bean, but then they blow the whistle on that one. See, that's the problem you have.
That's the hard thing. Yeah. And I know there are a lot of our fans would love to hear from you. You're thinking, oh, maybe you're just, being sour grapes here.
We missed shots. We could have won. Rylan Jones's 3 is wide open. He goes 0 for 4 from 3. 3 for 12 is all he shoots. Miller only gets 3 shots. Horvath only gets 3 shots. Bairstow made 4 shots. Ashworth made 7. Idlerock made 8. Shouldn't Horvath get 6 or 7? Shouldn't Miller get 6 or 7 shots? I mean, maybe the shots. And they were laying off Rylan Jones. They made him go after it. And there were times when Rylan made some terrific plays in this game. But again, in the end, he misses 4 shots and has 4 turnovers to go along with his 3 points and 3 assists. We only had 11 assists and 20 baskets compared to what we've seen this year.
Yeah.
But
and again, you look at the first half, 7 assists on 9 baskets. So second half, certainly downhill. You look at it as a team without being 7 for 13, the Aggies only shoot 13 for 40 on the game.
And let's see, in the second half, I'm just adding it up here. I think we're 11 for 29 in the second half, I think is what it's going to end up being for the team.
It just awfully frustrating way to end the game, because really this is a game that the Aggies kept on getting these little pushes that they would get the lead. But again, with a team like St. Mary's, they're going to be in the game unless you blow it out. What it really comes down to, and again, would love to hear you through the text line.
753 KVNU or 339-0321.
We got to start a GoFundMe for getting rid of the black football and jersey.
I just said it. Get rid of them. It's not our colors. We lose the games when we play blackouts. We did this year for sure. We've lost it again earlier with the BYU football game earlier in the year before, and we brought them back again. So get rid of them.
Yeah, it not good. Sorry, that was from 9315 from 8387. He said, when I saw Randy McCall, I knew we were in for a mess. And how does Bennett get away with his shenanigans? I love that. But, Bennett's been around for so long that he is going to get a little attitude.
Well, Bennett probably is mad that their team shoots 5 free throws, we shoot 18 in a physical game.
Yeah.
And maybe he's thinking the refs homered them. You know what I mean? That kind of deal. But, boy, the refs definitely gave them the stuff there in the last part of the game, the last 2 minutes.
That's the coach's job, to be in the refs' ear, make sure
and he
they
was
understand.
at the media timeout there. He and Randy went at it for a long time.
And let's also not forget, this is not a guy that's in first, second year at St. Mary's.
He knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing, and he's a good coach.
He is a really good coach. And they're Hey, those guys play basketball the right way. They're hard-nosed. They're fundamental. Our guys are hard-nosed, fundamental as well. They may have had a little more power. Bean may have, again, Zapala came in and helped a little, but we just didn't seem to have quite the strength of Toss and Fotu to match what they were doing physically to our guys a little bit.
No, didn't have an answer for those big guys.
We've got James on the line who wants to join with us. Go ahead, James. We're on Aggie Call. Aggies lose by 2.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. Love your show. I just want to echo some of the things you guys have talked about already. Number one, I was on the 3rd row next to the herd, and so I was seeing close up what was going on. They absolutely missed that walk call. It was so obvious.
So obvious.
Anybody could have seen that, and they missed it, which was just horrible.
That's even traveling in the NBA. How about that? I'll say that.
It really was. It was. I thought I can't believe you missed that. Second thing, I have officiated basketball, not college, high school, so I'll say that for over 20 years. And the cardinal rule, unwritten rule, is you let the players determine the winning game. Mm-hmm. You don't. As an official, it's not your job to determine who wins the game. And to your point, guys, at the end of the game, Bean got hammered. That he wasn't straight up. You are exactly right. And then going for a loose ball, I think if we look at the replay on that, the guy tripped over himself.
Well, there's some contact there, James. There is when we watch the replay. There's some contact, but you just don't call that if you don't call the other one. That's what That's what I'm saying.
And sorry, that's what I mean. As a ref, you never call that. You let the game finish out. So I was frustrated with the end, and I agree with you. We could have been ahead there, but on the positive side, I liked these guys. They kept fighting. Right? It wasn't the best game, but boy, they kept fighting and fighting and fighting, and I love their energy. They're going to be tough to beat. This team, they've got guts, and they are going to stick it out and not let people run over them.
Yeah, you don't want to see them on the schedule. And James, I really thank you for the call. And I agree with you completely. When St. Mary's hit those 4 3-pointers. Mm-hmm. I swallowed hard, thinking,
here they go. What's going to happen? And again, we're playing.
What's going to happen?
We do have some guys like Idle Rock and Horvath who have played a lot of basketball, and we have some veteran guys. Rylan Jones plays 2 years, but you know what? When you've got guys together, the Kuzi's played. He's listed as a 5-year letterman. Okay, 3-year letterman for Toss. Johnson's a 3-year letterman. Dukas has been in the program. Fotu's been there 3 years. This is a team that's played together for all of that time and won a lot of basketball games. So, again, just maybe the cohesiveness, togetherness, and a little more physicality in the second half by them made a difference in the game. I think a little bit.
I agree with you guys. Absolutely.
Okay.
But great. I love our team. I'm excited.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a good year.
Yep, it was a heck of a game. Again, unfortunately, can't win the big one when they had a chance here tonight against St. Mary's. Thanks for calling us, James. Do we have something on Twitter anymore? Comments or anything in text?
A couple more slipped in here. Okay. So, again, from 9315, great question. Does the loss help or hurt the Aggies?
it's a home. I don't know if they look at home losses, road losses. This is a top 40 basketball team. It'll be a top quadrant loss. It would be nicer to have a top quadrant win.
Yes, it would.
At this point, you've still got, again, BYU and Iowa will be right in there. Weber's close. Weber's a pretty good basketball team. You can't. If you don't beat any of those teams or whatever, and you get blanked in there, you're going to have a tough. It's going to be hard a little bit.
I look at it this way: great wins earlier in the season, beating Richmond, beating Oklahoma. Those are good wins.
Oklahoma beat Florida last night, 14th rated team in the nation.
How you progress, though, is the fact. So those wins were awesome, but if you follow them up with losses, that's what's going to end up.
Well,
hurting.
and again, play the games, have a chance to do it, make the threes when you had a chance. We had some open shots we didn't make in this game, obviously, and some stuff at the rim maybe every once in a while that didn't go in on as well. It was you could just tell it was a tense game for everybody playing it.
From tip-off, and we haven't talked about the clock. That was very frustrating.
But and it was frustrating at the first and frustrating at the end.
It was. Great wins to begin with, but you're exactly right. We've got to get some more wins. A win against BYU, Weber, who won again tonight. That would be a great win. A win against Iowa, that just kind of solidifies.
Weber opened their Big Sky Play with a win tonight.
Yeah, they did. So, I think, is it a good loss or is it a bad loss? Certainly not a bad loss. If you got to lose a game, this is a good one. Like you said, this is going to be a top quadrant team when it all comes. I mean, it hurts, Al. We're both sitting here a little bent over, doubled over from a tough loss because we could have won it. But it's still a top quadrant loss, and like you said, we got to play these games.
It was great to finally have a chance to play a game like this in Logan.
Yeah,
like we're saying, this other than BYU coming here with their good teams for years and years, and again, that's really it in our preseason lately. You got to go back to when USC and Mississippi State came here when Jalen started as a freshman. Our rock solid hit of the game tonight will be the guy who blocked Justin Bean of St. Mary's. Okay, whatever. But remember, all you do it yourself. Castellite always has rock and block and brick and pavers to make your yard look great. Inside the tile available from Castellite. We're also brought to you by Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, your licensed York dealer, and other great names there too. Carrier we've talked about. 752-7272, even for gas fireplaces from Advanced Heating, Fireplace, and Stove. Game day, St. Mary's 60, Aggies 58. Heck of a game. But the Aggies drop it, and we will be right back with more, and hopefully we'll hear from coach and players up, or at least a player up in the Spectrum after the loss coming up here on Game Day on KVNU. We'll be back again. Our number is 753-5868. The text line's available at 435-339-0321. Huge crowd in the Spectrum tonight. What are your thoughts, comments that you want to make? Give us a text or a call.
Hi, this is James Stevens with White Pine Funeral Services. Tonight we are hosting a holiday concert featuring a choir and musical ensemble by Jay Richards. All are welcome to attend, free of charge. We extend a special invitation to anyone who is missing a loved one this holiday season. We will be collecting canned food items at the door for the Cash Food Pantry. Back-to-back performances will take place tonight at White Pine at 7 p.m. and again at 8:30 p.m. Please visit whitepinefunerals.com for more information.
White Pine Funeral Services, here when you need us most.
Hi, this is Rusty Allen with LSS Insurance. There are so many choices when it comes to Medicare. Annual enrollment is October 1st through December 7th. Call LSS Insurance 752-9493. We are here to help. We will research plan benefits and costs and look up your medications so there are no surprises at the pharmacy. There is no cost to work with us, and you will love having a local agent. Call 752-9493. Want to get the most out of your Medicare benefits? Come see us at LSS Insurance.
I'm here with Jay Broadbent from Alpine Home Medical. Jay, I hear your ads for CPAP resupply all the time. What do I need to do to just get that taken care of?
It's easy. We can set up your CPAP resupply within a few minutes. We'll work out all the insurance for you, and then we'll start mailing the supplies straight to your door. You can even chat with a CPAP specialist online. Just visit us at alpinehomemedical.com. We'll have you sleeping better in no time.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
We are post-game of Utah State and St. Mary's. Heck of a battle in the Spectrum tonight. And again, it was won by the Gales. The final score is 60-58. So St. Mary's came up short against Wisconsin in the Maui Invitational that was played, as they said, on the 9th island of Hawaii, which is Las Vegas. And if you know, there is a connection between Las Vegas and Hawaii. There always has been. People in Hawaii want to come to Vegas, and the people in Vegas want more would probably want to go to Hawaii than to come. But the people from Hawaii love to come to Las Vegas, and that's where they played the Maui this year because of COVID. And in the end, they beat Riverside the other day to get back to their winning ways. And then on Monday night, the Aggies beat Carroll College. Tonight, the largest lead in the game, the Aggies had an 8-point lead at 14-6 in the first half. That was the largest lead. And I'm looking, the largest lead for St. Mary's, I think, is 3, 49-46. And I think that's it. I think that's the largest lead in the game. There were 9 lead changes in the second half, 7 ties. There was no lead changes first half. Joaquin wants to join with us. Joaquin, what's up tonight? Oh, Dad's telling me what to say.
No. The refs should have let the players play in overtime.
Well, it should have gone to overtime because there shouldn't. If you're not going to call the one, you don't call the other, and let it play out at the end of the game and not make the call that decides the game. I mean, because up until then, the teams have been fighting tooth and nail to try to win it, and it should have gone to overtime, and then we'll see what happens with the 5 minutes. But anything else, Joaquin?
Yeah, I 100% agree with what you said.
Okay, it's good to hear from you. Thank you very much for joining us. How about the text line, which is 339-0321?
This is when you know it's bad. This came from 2763. We've had season tickets for 35 years, and that is the worst officiated game I've witnessed.
The calls at the end are bad.
Yeah.
There have been some worse overall officiating for sure than that one. But again, it's just so sad in a big game like that it gets decided that way. By a veteran official.
By a veteran official. But you go back, like we've been saying, our caller Joaquin just said, this particular texter 2763, you want to let the players play the game. You want to let them be the ones that determine it. And the fact that one, you had an obvious travel.
The travel
foul.
is almost the most obvious thing. I don't know how you don't call that. With 3 officials looking at it, and they're looking right from the wing. I'm looking. The camera shot is right where the wing. It looked like Randy McCall's looking right in there, and they didn't even call it or whatever. I don't know how they missed that one. We got Wes joining with us on our Aggie Call program post game. Again, St. Mary's 60, Aggies 58. Go ahead, Wes.
Yeah, I just really thought I was surprised that Horvath. He seemed to make some fundamental mistakes, that missing switches and things that kind of made a big difference, that gave him really easy buckets during the game that I was kind of surprised at, because typically he seems to play a lot more sound basketball. I think you said he only took 3 shots.
Only took three total shots. He's had some blocked away, and they got fouled, and then went to the foul line 4 out of 6. Yeah, he had 6 rebounds.
I was just surprised that he just seemed off today a little bit.
Well, and again, he had a bad game. The coach talked to him about it and said, okay, we know he can play better. He came back and had 20 points, 20 minutes, seemed to play tougher physical. I don't know how Coach Odom will evaluate that. The one thing, great call by the Aggies when Horvath's guy gets it in low there and R.J. Idlerock goes in and steals the ball on that double team. That was a terrific call or great defense there on that double.
Yeah, you knew for sure that's where they were going to that player with that low post, and that was awesome of Edo Brock, and a great call on the coach's part to, take the risk and go get the ball. So that was impressive.
Got it back when it's a 58-58 game and did give us a chance. And then Bean gets blocked. Jones misses the shot. I mean, and then Dukas gets the free throw chances there at the end of the game.
Yeah, we had our chances, that's for sure.
We did. I mean, the open threes. I mean, in the first half, we made 1 of 6. In the second half, we made, 2 of 9 threes. Boy, we just struggled from there. Brock made 1 in the first half, I think, and maybe Ashworth made both of them in the first half, and Brock got 1 in the second half. I think is what it was for threes. Maybe it's the other way around. Okay, thank you. Anything else? I'm sorry, Wes, anything else?
Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
Weston, thanks for joining with us. We always appreciate it. Aggie Call, always here for you after the game. We can talk about good things, bad things, and those in between. And this one not in between because the Aggies lose by 2 in a close game, but it was a heck of a game. It really was. And anything else, text line?
Not at this point. But it just, as a basketball fan, you got to enjoy that game. It was two good teams really going at it, fired up and doing their thing. But again, here's another text from 1279. The ref gave that game away. That call is never made with no time on the clock. Pathetic officiating. And look, we watched it over again.
That bad of a foul in an open court situation late in the game compared to the kind of contact there was on Bean driving for the shot earlier.
With 0.9 seconds, you keep the whistle out of your mouth. You let the clock run. You go over to Bennett, and he's going to bark at you and scream and cry about it. But you go, look, you got 5 minutes. If you want to win the game, do it now.
And the same, and then Odom saying, why don't you call a foul when the guy leans over? And you can see the replay. He's leaning rather than the straight-up stuff that I get tired of. Officials get away with those no-block calls in the game because there's no way the guy's, if you look at the replay, he's leaned right over him as Bean's trying to put up that shot. And then it kicks, though, Ryland Jones ends up with it and gets the 3 and doesn't make it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and let's face it, that was the most open Ryland was all day.
Yeah.
And so to have that opportunity, and sometimes it doesn't go down. There were a couple of shots tonight in and out of the basket that, had they gone down, it would have been fine. And we're, as Aggie fans, and I know there are a lot of students that are listening right now that are going to be fired up going, the refs cost us the game. But I go back to, you play phenomenal defense in the first half. You hold them to 7 of 27, 0 for 12, and you're only up by 4. That's your problem against a good team.
And then you let them get 17 of 26 in the second half, and you only shoot 11 out of 29.
65%. That's smart.
All right, Tyler wants to join with us. Go ahead, Tyler.
Hey, guys, really the only thing I have to say is I have a cat named Randy, and I'm not going to name it Randy anymore. Just change its name because there's two bad Randys on my dirty dog list. Not even Christmas presents.
Well, and the bad thing is I don't know why Coach Bennett wouldn't shake Ryan Odom's hand if Ryan wanted to shake his hand. Yeah. I don't know and understand what's going on there.
Yeah, and then the whole him taunting the crowd on the way out.
Yeah.
And, Logan Johnson flipped off the crowd.
Oh. That's great. That's really classy stuff, guys. Really classy stuff.
Classy stuff from a parochial school in a parochial conference. But but also, we've got to do a bit better. I was listening on the Brand X post game, and apparently there were some St. Mary's parents trying to get in a fight with some of our students. This is right after everything had cleared off the court. So it was a really great basketball game that got marred. The atmosphere was a lot of fun, but. And it's just heartbreaking. Wanted to send Ashworth, great game. I like some things I saw from Zapala today. I think the silver lining is there's stuff that we can do better, and Coach Odom will figure that out. He'll figure out what are the nuggets in the game that we did wrong that could have turned this around, and use it as a real teaching moment. This will by no means be a bad loss down the road, and hopefully it's I was thinking about BYU lost to Utah Valley, whatever they are this year. And I was thinking, well, they're going to get motivated for their next game coming out of that loss. Of course, they have had some injuries, but they've got a game in between when they play
Missouri
Utah
State.
So BYU will have that rebound game. BYU's our rebound game. And we're going to go into Marriott Center. We need to break that curse that we haven't won in 10 years. What is it there?
Yeah.
Or 10 years period against BYU. And I think that Coach will get them together, and they'll be super.
We're gonna play teams tooth and nail to the end. This is the way this team is being put together. You can already see that even the Davis game, they didn't play very well. They still have a chance at the end of the game to win. I mean, that's the only game, the other game they've lost up until now. So they could easily have won every game, and they could have maybe lost maybe the Penn game, but they're going to play. So, anything else, Tyler?
You have one.
Okay.
Yeah, one only prediction I'll make is we'll probably never, ever play St. Mary's again as long as Randy Bennett's the coach.
I think that's probably true. And we got put together in the Vegas tournament and then the home and home. Again, they need games like this. They're going to Colorado State. Now, that'll be interesting to see on Saturday how that goes. CSU's an undefeated team up until now. So we'll see. We'll compare and see what it looks like there, okay?
Go Rams. Go Aggies on Saturday. Appreciate you guys taking the
All
call.
right. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it, Tyler. I think Jeff wants to share something with us. 753-5868 for Aggie Call postgame. Still waiting for stuff from the Spectrum. Go ahead, Jeff. Hello,
Probably
Jeff.
angry enough to want to treat the refs like the Kentucky fans do, but it's important that we show enough self-control to not do what they do, like calling him, sending him death threats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, he's the one guy's done so many great games, and he has been a good guy, and he's worked hard, and he referees hard. I just wish that, again, it doesn't boil down to 2 calls in the last 2 minutes where it's an obvious travel that's not called, and then it's an obvious, if they're going to call the rebound foul, they got to call the blocking foul on the other end because there's more contact on that, and the guy isn't straight up. So that's all I have to say about that. But, again, he's been a really good official over the years. And the problem is Kevin Brill got paid tonight and didn't do anything. The other one official, and DJ Nelson made some horrendous calls early in the game, and then he quit calling things too the rest of the game. So, all righty. Thanks a lot, Jeff, for joining with us. Appreciate it. We're going to take a break. We're still hoping for something from the Spectrum. We'd love to have you join with us. Text line is 3390321. Had a lot of great calls tonight, obviously, after an emotional game like this. But it sounds like the Aggies held their emotion a little better maybe than the St. Mary's people did, and they won the game. So 60-58 the final, and we'll be right back.
'Tis the season, and if you're getting engaged, bring that special someone to S.E. Needham Jewelers. You'll love our extensive selection of beautiful engagement rings. Also, you'll select a diamond from Utah's largest selection of loose diamonds. You'll find a unique ring at an affordable price with diamonds direct from Antwerp, Belgium at internet pricing. It just doesn't get better. And you may also take advantage of our 12-month interest-free financing. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 7, where Utah gets engaged. S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign of the clock.
West Point Dairy Products at Hiram is hiring. West Point Dairy Products has been manufacturing high-quality butter for over 25 years in Cache Valley. They're currently expanding and want you on their growing team. West Point Dairy Products offers competitive wages for entry-level positions starting at $18 per hour, full benefit packages, double time on Sundays, a $2,000 sign-on bonus, and tremendous opportunities for growth. For immediate consideration, call Express Employment Professionals at 435-213-9595.
Steven, stop dragging your feet. Don't you give me that look. You've had a bad attitude all day. Now, look, I know you'd rather be with your friends right now, but this has to be done, and either you start cooperating or I'm going to start taking things away from you. And I think you know what that means, don't you, Steven?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Okay.
Watch it.
Bigger isn't always better. At Castalite, you'll choose from a huge selection of pavers and receive help from experts. You'll see just how easy it is to do it yourself. For brick, block, rock, paver, and tile, go where the pros go. Online at Castalite.com.
The Aggies are always number one here. It's KVNU Game Day with Al Lewis and John Russell.
And with lots of you tonight, we appreciate all the texts we're getting and all the comments we're getting from folks after the Aggies again lost this game to St. Mary's in a heck of a contest at the Spectrum tonight. Great atmosphere. Get rid of the black. That's what we kind of been talking about.
I agree.
Phone number again, 753-5868. And then outside the Logan area, you can use the 800-369-5868 if you want to. And the text line is 435-339-0321. We got a caller, and I wrote down the name, and I can't find it on my piece of paper here. But I think it was Trevor. Was that right?
Yep, that's me.
I got you. Trevor, go ahead.
Yeah, I was in the Spectrum, and I just barely walked out. I was waiting for the overtime period to start, but it just never happened.
It didn't.
You know, we've kind of been on the other side of a late-game blunder in football with Colorado State, and it really just goes to show you don't ever want to be in a game where you're one little single play or one mistake away from losing.
Well, and
so
yeah, go ahead.
So I'm mad at the refs just like everyone else, and yeah, I think it was a bad call, but you just don't want to ever be put in the situation where one little mistake can change the game for you. So that's all I had.
Yeah, okay, Trevor, nice. And Jalen Moore's keys to the game brought to you by Daryl's Appliance tonight. Why buy from Daryl's? No risk extended warranty. If you don't use it after 5 years, they give you your money back. And again, they got all the great appliance names at Daryl's. Jalen tonight said, we better execute offensively like we have. 58 points will not be enough. I wrote that down.
Yep.
We scored 58 and lost 60-58. He's exactly right.
Jalen scares me sometimes.
Guard the three-point line.
We did in the first.
7 for 11 second half.
Yeah.
Other than Bean, somebody's got to come up big. Ashworth got 12. Did anybody else really come up big in this game for the Aggies as far as, Horvat's got 8 and 6. Ryland Jones has got 7, 3, 3 steals. Bairstow had 4. Idle Rock got 5, but nobody else really did step up. And Bean, 19 and 10. He was 7 for 13, 5 of 6 free throw line, and he had 3 assists. He did have 4 steals tonight. The Aggies had 12 steals, and St. Mary's only had 7, and they're normally the team that gets quite a few of them.
And I think I look at Bean and what he did, and another phenomenal performance. He did a lot of things on both ends of the court. There was a play in the first half where he jumped out of bounds, saved it, toss it back to Brock. Those are things that don't show up in the score, in the box score. But yeah, somebody's got to step up, and you've got to have more than guys scoring 8, 7 points, 5 points. Ashworth did have a good game. It got a few more texts again. 435-339-0321. So I'm going to read these just to kind of get them out of the way. 93-15. Again, maybe kill the refs with kindness, and maybe they'll help us in a later game. That's true. But a couple of questions. I thought it was great to see. This comes from. Let's see. This one comes from 1802. I thought it was great to see some shooting confidence from Ashworth tonight. Tough loss, but great to see the team taking strides in growth going into conference play. I agree with that. That's a great comment.
This team's come a long ways from where they first played. UC Davis and some of those early.
Yeah. Wondering about Max Shulga. He didn't get off the bench tonight, and his role as a team seems to have diminished.
Bairstow has got his spot right now.
Yeah.
He's got a little more experience. Coach saw him before he hurt his wrist, and I think they know that maybe just a little bit more. One thing Bairstow's got to watch, he does tend to almost travel, and they called him for one tonight. He does have to watch his feet. He and Brock Miller have to kind of watch their feet more than anybody with the travel. But you know what? They probably wouldn't have called it tonight, although they did call it on Bairstow. I don't know why they didn't call it on the St. Mary's guy. Come on.
It's frustrating. From 5180, was it the game so missed the first part of your show? Comments about Aggie turnovers, missed free throws, horrible first half, hard loss, but that shouldn't have been.
Aggies had
Aggies.
5 turnovers in the second half.
Yeah.
They had 9 in the first half, so that was a little worse.
I think it was that first half, and I agree with
again not leading
5180.
more than 20-16. Yep.
You've got to. You can't live on one half of the game against a good team, and we've talked about that. From 3052, one thing we've learned from Coach Anderson this year is that head coach's job is to keep the officiating in line. He is a master at it. Odom needs to take a page from his book. He is too mild with the refs, and tonight it cost us. I think it goes back to what we were saying. That's what Bennett did. Bennett was in their ear all game long. He was aggressively going after the refs, and whether it made a difference in the end, I can't say for sure. But if they're hearing him all game, they're gonna listen.
Coach Odom is not a real loud, outspoken guy, but you could tell he was really animated there at the end and everything like that. And I've got the coach now from the Spectrum. Appreciate Jake Ellis getting us this. Remember, it's LSS Insurance, one of our sponsors, 752-9493 for all your insurance needs. LSS Insurance brings you, again, Coach Ryan Odom postgame. Let's see if we can get to that right now.
Yeah, obviously a bitter loss for us. Tough loss. Hard way to end the game. There's no really shying away from that, obviously. Disappointed locker room, but not broken. A very quiet locker room. But a locker room that, has grit, has toughness, has a love for one another, a connectivity that is unique. And so when you have a team like that, you can recover from disappointment. And, what I told the team after the game was, hey, you have nothing, no reason to hang your head. When you give it your all, and you do everything in your power to, make it go your way, and you go for it, which our guys I know went for it in that game. Right? Were we perfect? Absolutely not. But St. Mary's wasn't perfect either. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to go for it. And I felt like our guys went for it. And you can let it lie. You can rest easy. Doesn't mean you have to like the result, but you're not always going to like the result. It's sports. It's college basketball. It's a competitive game. And that was a competitive basketball game. Credit to St. Mary's for figuring it out. Certainly in that second half, not that they were out of it. Neither team could really score. It was kind of a mistake-ridden first half for both of us. We had way too many turnovers in the first half and weren't even getting shots on goal. Could have had but our defense was pretty good. Could have had maybe a bigger lead, going into halftime had we played a little bit better offensively. We began to figure it out in the second half, but so did they. And, we talked at halftime about, the open threes that they had opportunities in the first half. That they weren't going to continue to miss those. And so we had to guard them better in the second half, and they had a little stretch there where they got loose on us and the wrong shooters got loose on us, and they began to take the lead there. But credit to our guys for executing down the stretch to give ourselves a chance to win in a game that, we knew was going to be a really hard-fought game. They were really well coached on both sides of the ball. We kept trying to get the game to go at our pace, and we couldn't quite get it there. And there were stretches where we did, but I thought they did a good job of settling in and getting the ball where they needed to go. But we made free throws. We got to the line. Even though we weren't making shots, we didn't attempt a ton of threes, but partly that was because we were getting to the basket, and that's how they guard. We knew that going in. That it was going to be hard to get threes off. But disappointed, unfortunate ending there, but, no sour grapes. It is what it is. We have to move on from it and learn from it. I think, hopefully, I know it's early. It's really early in the season. And so where we go from here is so important. How we learn from these types of disappointments is so important. So I'm excited, for our team, and I think one of the things I would want to say to, just the fans is how much we appreciate what they did tonight. We were able, it was our coaching staff's first opportunity and some of our players' first opportunity to really see what Spectrum can be and, how powerful, it is in there when we're all connected like that. I mean, it's one of the reasons that I came here, to be a part of that. And so that was fun, to coach in that environment.
Questions? So, Coach, at the end there, when you were talking to the St. Mary's coach, you seemed to have a bit of an encounter. You didn't seem to end up shaking hands. Like, can you give us any insight as to what was?
Well, we did shake hands. Yeah, we definitely shook hands. But initially we were holding hands, and then we were chatting there for a second. But I'm not going to get into the details of what we were talking about. That's part of the game. So we have a tremendous amount of respect for St. Mary's, for Coach Bennett. He's a longtime coach. And been a great coach for a long time. He worked for Tim Floyd, who my father is very close with. So we're connected. And just the guts of the game. Things happen. And it is what it is. He didn't do anything wrong. It was just part of the ending there. None of us like the ending from an Aggie perspective. But we wish them well. We wish their team well this season. They have a very good team, and he's a great coach.
What were you hoping to get then with that last after being caught the pass from Brandon and then called timeout?
Yeah, we were hoping to, honestly, what I was hoping to get was like a little bit of a scrum towards the basket and get a foul like they got at the end. And so we ran a little play. We haven't practiced that play, but they executed it pretty well. We had Brock coming to screen across and then Bean curling around him to the rim. And I told Ron, if you feel like he's got a chance at it, give it to him. If not, Brock's going to be popping right out to catch and shoot really quickly. And then you have Brandon all the way on the skip on the other side. And, did he get fouled? Probably not. But, he was going after the ball, and it was, kind of a mixed up mess in there. And I was hoping that we might get something. But in that situation, it's hard to get a shot off at 0.9 or 0.6 or whatever it was. It's not an easy play, but the guys executed we knew what we were doing on that free throw. Obviously, had he chosen to miss it, we would have had to call a timeout right away or just fire it up. But he chose to make it, and so we have a play that saves the timeout to get it across half court really quickly, and then we have plays at the end, to execute, to try to get a shot. I was hoping we'd have a little bit more time, but it is what it is.
And again, Coach Odom from the Spectrum, again, brought to you tonight by Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat. You go to CacheValleyENT.com for all the details about runny nose, itchy eyes, headaches, migraines. They can help you with their Ascent Aesthetics Center, all available as well. We pause for identification at 10 o'clock.
News at the top and bottom of the hour. News Talk KVNU, Logan, 610 AM and 102.1 FM. Proud to be locally owned and operated by the Cache Valley Media Group.
So, Coach Odom, John, tough to lose that way. We're disappointed but not broken in the locker room. Where we go from here, I'm excited about things, is what he had to say.
Well, there's a couple things to keep in mind here. As one of our earlier texters said, good performance by Ashworth. Bairstow, keep in mind, second game back. He's still I've been very excited with what I've seen. I think he's going to get better. But nonetheless,
he's going to be much more confident and better than he is.
But here's the thing where I'm going to disagree with Coach a little bit.
Okay.
I agree we're not broken, but I want this loss to sting. I want this one to, when they go to bed tonight, they remember it. When they go to practice tomorrow, they remember it. And when we're in a close game down the line, because, I'm not looking at it as this, the season's over. Yeah. But these are the losses that I believe, as a team, gets you further along down the season.
Maybe they responded against Richmond and the way they played after that, and they got to do it again, even to a next level for a BYU. Or for what else is to come down the road. 753 KVNU, still our number available. Our text line still available. We will take a break, and then we will come back and hear from, it looks like both, we're going to have Stephen Ashworth and also Justin Bean post-game. Incidentally, Skyview 88, Cedar 85 in 2 overtimes. Cedar won the championship last year, and Skyview wins in this north-south at home tonight in a heck of a game. So we had a heck of a game there, a heck of a game in the Spectrum. Again, if you're just tuning in, St. Mary's 60-58. They made 2 free throws with .9 to play in the game by Dukas, called on a loose ball foul situation. The coach said he didn't think Bean got fouled.
No.
That's what he said at the end. But then I'm sure he's thinking, I don't think Bean fouled either. Let's go to overtime. Decide from there. We'll be back with more Game Day after this.
There's no reason to wheeze and sneeze while around dogs and cats. The Allergy Clinic, located in the Cache Valley Hospital and now in Providence next to the Bank of Utah, have an extremely aggressive treatment for dog and cat allergies. Get the help you need and stop avoiding friends and relatives' homes just because of their pets. Independent physicians Benyon, Blotter, and Robinette offer Cache Valley a full-time clinic to test and address all your allergy concerns. Most insurance products, including SelectMed, are accepted. The Cache Valley Allergy Clinic, with 2 locations inside the Cache Valley Hospital and now in Providence. Call 753-7880. That's 753-7880.
It's back. Jarek's Fine Jewelry in Logan is having our annual Pick a Pearl event. If you've attended this in the past, you know how much fun we have. And if you haven't come before, you don't want to miss this exciting event. For only $10, pick your oyster, open it that day, or save it for that stocking stuffer surprise. Mark your calendar, Friday and Saturday, December 10th and 11th. Pick a pearl at Jarek's Fine Jewelry, 930 North Main. Just look for the bright green cars.
Jarek's Fine Jewelry. Make it special, make it Jarek's.
The Riverwoods Conference Center is accepting reservations for holiday parties and events. Inviting you to experience an elegant holiday atmosphere, the Riverwoods Conference Center's beautiful new renovation is complete with new carpet, paint, furniture, and decor. And as always, with catering from Elements, your holiday event will be amazing with delicious entrees and decadent desserts that always deliver excellence. Whether it's a company or family event, it will be festive, beautiful, and scrumptious at the Riverwoods, catered by Elements. For reservations, phone 750-5151, 750-5151.
It's KVNU Game Day with Aggie Call. Call 753-KVNU or 800-369-KVNU.
Had a lot of great callers with us tonight after this close, exciting game. One of the best games we've had in the Spectrum in a long, long time. Again, unfortunately, it turned out to go the wrong direction, 60-58 for St. Mary's. And they did it in the second half. They shot much, much better after the first half, and the Aggies' defense was terrific. And St. Mary's did kind of go they got a chance in the second half to play more the way they wanted to play. I think that the Aggies controlled the first half, didn't get enough offensively, to get a lead, and then the second half, St. Mary's did kind of control the game.
Again, you can't let a team like that stick around. They needed to leave that first half with a 10, 12, 14-point lead, and things would have been better off. I know we've got some sound from some players, but a couple of quick questions.
I was going to say, the Aggies did have a 7-point lead, 44-37, at about the 10-minute mark of the game.
Yeah.
So that's other than the rest of the game wasn't very good.
Couldn't stretch it out. From 40-86, do you think we will renew the series after what happened tonight?
Well,
let me think about it. No.
Well, but I think what'll happen. Hey, it sounds like Coach Odom has a lot of respect and knows Coach Bennett through Tim Floyd, who worked for his dad and all those things. I think Utah State would like to still go home and home.
Whether St. Mary's will.
I'm betting St. Mary's will.
Yeah, they're probably not. And then one more
I know they were always hesitant to come here, and they put it off before one time, it seemed like, to another year, and they did it. Now, last year they couldn't come because of COVID.
Yeah. So. One more comment, this from 5464, and talks about a lot of things we've already talked about. If you're going to call contact on Bean, you got to call it, and I think we're all in agreement with that. A lot of things, good points. St. Mary's played extremely well in the second half. A lot of easy buckets, a lot of open cuts to the basket.
They took advantage of
it.
Inside. They did score a lot of points at the rim, plus made those threes.
Yeah, but I want to point out that I think the students were stellar tonight. They were loud. They did a great job keeping the Aggies in the game. When you see an Aggie player come down and kind of wave his arms, getting the crowd amped up, and them following through, they did a phenomenal job. One of the comments 5464 talked about, though, classless fans and players, he said some guy who traveled with the team was waving a large St. Mary's flag, yelling and screaming at the coaches of the player. Well, that's what you do.
Yeah.
And now unless he's
if he's doing it in front of fans during the game with a big flag, that's not great in a spectrum type thing. But at the end of the game, so maybe at the end of the game he's on the court doing it.
But we have to keep.
You got to cheer for your fans and stuff. I mean, I don't want anybody trying to pick fights or swearing or going after somebody
Be loud,
for whatever.
But keep
Our students are edgy.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. But again, I don't think they've gone over the line. No. I mean, it used to be Stu liked to say, take it right to the line. And
maybe look over the edge a little and you'll be all right.
All right, let's get to Stephen Ashworth after the game tonight in the Spectrum.
A battle through and through. I think especially in that first half, we recognized that, two very solid defensive teams going at it back and forth. And I think both of us found a way to score in the second half and be a little bit more efficient on the offensive end. All week, I guess a few days after the last game, we were all preparing, for the last minutes of the game. We knew that this game was going to be a stop and score type of game. And, we got to give props to the crowd for coming out big time. They were loud, they're energetic, they were into the whole game. Definitely gave us a boost. And so we appreciate that. Unfortunately, we didn't come up with the result that we wanted to end the game, but we move on to the next, and we learn, we get better, and we're still together as a team, say the less.
Were you surprised at the very end with the refs pulling a walk-off, if you will?
I know that the crowd can get rowdy, and so I think that if I was not an Aggie, I would probably try to get out quickly as well. But yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about that.
Did you have the ball at the end, right then?
Yeah, I did. I just asked for it back just so we could put it back on the rack because I don't know where they were going to take it. But yeah, I was a little frustrated. Made sure not to kick it. That was a big deal. Make sure that it stayed on the floor.
The game obviously changed a lot when they went on that little three-point barrage where you guys went from the lead to behind, a 9-0 run in 80 seconds, I think. Mm-hmm. You kind of knew that was probably going to happen at some point with them. They're that good of shooters.
Yeah. I think that I heard they were 0 for 12 in the first half from behind the arc. And part of that was our game plan to make sure that we didn't let the shooters shoot and kind of forced some of the other personnel into tougher shots from behind the arc. But I think kind of that 80-second span like you're talking about, we gave them too many open looks, in-rhythm looks. And it came back to hurt us in the end.
So where did your guys' kind of second half, offensive surge come from? Because they started shooting well from three. Like, what led you guys to do well on offense as well?
Yeah, I think that a lot of it came down to our stops weren't dead ball stops. I think in the first half we had a lot of possessions where they were either scoring or the ball was being tipped out of bounds on the rebound instead of being able to grab it. And so when we were able to keep those balls live, I think we were able to run a little bit more. Coach was great about the adjustments that we needed to make in the second half, just from a game plan and a game style type of using pick and rolls differently. And I thought they were able to throw some back action and post up Bean, and he was crucial there for us down the stretch, being able to be consistent there for us, making those tough turnaround jump shots and things like that to keep our offense moving like how it was.
I think, Stephen, what he's talking about there at the end of the game, I guess the officials went to the scorers table, looked at it, and they go, okay, game's over, and then they must have just sprinted right out at the end is what he was referring to there. And then he had the game ball, I guess, at the end, and he didn't kick it or something. He's just going to put it back on the rack. Yeah,
I do like what he said, where he says, I would have run too if I were them. There was no question about that. After that play.
Oh, if there's 0.6 and the play got thrown in, the game's over.
Was over.
Yeah.
What about
because he even kind of muffed the catch, and it kind of was trying to grab it again.
Yeah, and by the time it went out of bounds, so there can be complaints there. One question a lot of people have wondered about is Horvath took the hard foul late in the second half
and didn't get. Again, the guy played the ball, but boy, he just completely engulfed him.
Well, it was one of those plays. I'm gonna foul you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make sure you don't make this basket.
Yep.
But I'm going to make sure I go for the ball so I don't get the flagrant.
And again, maybe that makes a difference in the game too. In a game like this, as close as it is.
That goes back again to the consistency. If that was not a flagrant foul, Bean's foul should not have been.
And it will be called flagrant fouls in some games.
Yes, it will.
There will be. Somewhere down the road, you watch. A play exactly like that will be called that way. Again, leather cleaning, restoration, granite countertops, renewal, wood floor cleaning, dry air vent line cleaning, upholstery cleaning. It's all from Chem Dry of Northern Utah, and they clean carpets better than anyone with their green certified solution and hard carbonating extraction cleaning method. They brought you Stephen Ashworth post-game, and they also bring you Justin Bean post-game on our Aggie Game Day. As we finish it up here with Justin Bean from the Spectrum, Aggies lose 60-58 to St. Mary's to drop to 6-2.
This is it's one of those games in college basketball that I, for one, look forward to. I know some people on Twitter didn't, and it was fun to see Aggie Nation kind of back our support and just a great game, great atmosphere.
Oh, you switched it up.
Hey, what's up? Hope you guys got that. Coach Odom's interrupting my interview. Yeah, so it was a great atmosphere, like I said, and couldn't say enough great things about the fans. They really came through tonight, and I think the biggest thing is you want to win for them. You want to win those close games, those hard-fought games with those kinds of atmospheres because they deserve it. And that's probably the most heartbreaking thing about this loss is, for me, is just not being able to deliver for them. But us as a team, I thought we had some stretches there in the second half where we were dialed in and things were clicking and offensively we were doing well. But at the end of the day, they got downhill a lot on us in the second half and made some good plays, kind of collapsed our defense, and they knocked down some shots. We kind of were daring them to shoot a little bit in some instances, but I thought our closeouts could have been better. We just didn't guard how we wanted to that second half, and it cost us. They had some big plays down the stretch, and you can say what you want about the refs. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of chatter about that next couple of days, but at the end of the day, they won the game, and so you can't change that. And we got to bounce back from this. And BYU just came off a tough loss as well. So you got two hungry teams coming up on Wednesday, and I think BYU plays someone else before this. But okay, yep. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of adjustments we got to make, and got to keep our heads up. But proud of our guys for how we fought. There's never a question that we didn't play hard. So
questions? Talk about those final moments there, and was that the first option looking for you in the lane?
Yeah, the ball screen, we ran that spread play with Rylan and I. It worked a lot in the first half, kind of was able to get downhill and hit some jumpers, and got an open lane and went up, and thought I might have got fouled, but I'll have to look at the play. I didn't see it well, but ended up getting a rebound off of it and a kick out, and I had a good look, but we know Rylan's capable of knocking down those shots, any day of the week. And so it's on all of us as a team, and just a heartbreaking way to end it. I just going up for a rebound and thought I had the ball first, and didn't think I fouled the guy. But it's, you can't change that, and that's just basketball. And so there are things that we could have controlled down the stretch that we didn't execute, and that's ended up costing us the game. So.
Not that you want to dwell on that, but that's kind of a lot of times at the end of the game. A lot of times they swallow the whistles, they don't call stuff.
Right.
And that's kind of interesting when they called it. And then when you guys got the 0.6 seconds to throw it into you, and there's plenty of contact.
Right. Again, it's hard to call it's impossible to call a perfect game, as an official, and I know it's hard. That's something that I definitely will never want to do in my life, is officiate games, because they always get a bad rap. But yeah, it's just a tough few plays there at the end.
I think it's interesting that that's brought up. We haven't talked about, maybe Justin got fouled trying to get that catch at the end of the game, and there's some contact in that play, and he didn't catch it cleanly, and then there's some more contact. That doesn't get called either.
No, it doesn't, and I think
so.
They
Offensive
made the right
things
call.
don't get called, but then rebounds get called. I don't. They shouldn't. It should be consistent, like we're talking about. Yeah. So. Anything else, John? Then, any comments about what Justin and Stephen?
I think Justin. It was interesting is in that last question, you could hear him kind of, it is what it is, and it was a bad call. But I go back to what I've said on a couple of occasions here. The Aggies put themselves in that position against a good ball club. And again, learning opportunity, recognizing that you can't just turn a switch on and off and do the things that you need to. When you're playing a good team, you need to be ready. We can go down the line. They got out rebounded. They did not shoot well in the second half, and St. Mary's shot extremely well in the second half. You can look at nobody really stepped up. Ashworth had a decent game, but really no one else stepped up and helped Justin help Bean out, with his performance. There are a lot of things that you can learn from. And, we as Aggie fans got a little excited with big wins earlier in the season, but this just goes to show there's still things that need to be worked on, need to be improved.
Why wouldn't St. Mary's want to come back to Logan? They've won the last 3 times they played here against the Aggies. The series is now an even 6-6. We're 3-4 here against them, as it's turned out. Justin Bean did, again, in the game tonight, score, 19? Or 17. He needed to have 4 to get to 38th on the all-time list and 8 to get to number 36. So he is the number 36
and you're right, it was
all-time
19.
leading scorer.
19.
It was 19,
yeah.
Okay. But he's got Vince Washington, I think, is the next guy ahead of him there. And he's within now about 12 rebounds of Spencer Nelson for number 8 on the all-time rebound chart for the Aggies as well. And so he won't drop much from his national stats. He'll still be, for sure, in the top 10 in scoring, and he'll be in the top 5 in rebounding, where he's at with what he did tonight, another double-double in the game. So
even more impressive, 38 minutes. I don't know how the guy does it, but his battery does not.
In fact, it's
drain.
hard to believe he even went out for 2 minutes.
I know. I don't
remember. So 60-58 the final. Appreciate all the callers and all the comments tonight. And we appreciate the Aggie fans in the spectrum. The players, you could tell, loved you, and they appreciate what you did. So we'll have to do it again when the Aggies play back at home. The next time they're at home is in New Orleans, I think it is.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, playing in New Orleans on the 11th, so a week from Saturday. And then they'll be at home against Portland State that week of Christmas after they've played Weber State and Iowa on the road the next week. But BYU next Wednesday night. Game day will be on at 6 for the game at 7. I believe it's on KBYU television or BYU TV, which is now what they call it, I think, is where it will be there. So, and the football game Saturday is at 1 o'clock on Fox, the National, Channel 13 will have it, and we'll have game day at 11:30 for the Aggie football game going for the championship. John, thank you very much for joining with us tonight.
Get them next time.
Appreciate all the sponsors, appreciate the texters, the callers, and all of you listening. Again, St. Mary's wins 60-58, and they're a good team, and they are 8-1 now on the season. That's it for tonight. We will join Jim Bohannon Show in progress.
Truth.
On KBA.
It was actually